Good morning and welcome to the last quint demo for my Bijoux Brilliance week here on my channel. I am doing demos with all the palettes that I purchased from the Holiday 2023 collection from McGrath Labs, and today we're going to do a look with Sunset Romance. Just in case this is your first video that you're watching from this week, if you're interested in swatches or any of the other looks that I've created, then I have everything in a playlist, and the playlist will be linked at the end of this video. But for now, I'm going to start doing my makeup because once again, I've got a meeting that I need to get on time to, and I have the teeny tiny feeling that I'll be late again. I've already done my base makeup, as I explained also in my first video. I just do not have the time to show you also my base makeup and do the looks, because I'm doing a look every day this week, which is pretty hardcore for someone who works full-time. So with that said, let's get down to business. I am taking the McGrath bronzer in the shade Desert Glow. We are going for a somewhat warmer toned look today because Sunset Romance is what I would describe the terracotta color story in the family. Something that I forgot to add before, although it was rather obvious when I was doing the swatch video, is that each of the quints has a different color of the bow. So the bow here has a different color depending on the color story, and most of them are rather accurate because the Lunar Nightshade one has like this teal greenish bow on it, and then Bordeaux Bliss has a purple bow, and the Bronze Quint has a yellowish, bronzish kind of bow on it. So you can sort of recognize which quint is which by just looking at the bow. But to me, for example, the Bordeaux Bliss and Sunset Romance is like a little bit more pinkish in tone, whereas the other one is a little bit more purplish, and I always have to think which one was which. So that one still remains a little bit confusing for me. But for the rest, you know, you still have to pull them out because if you just stack them next to each other, they look exactly the same. But at the very least, there is a way to know which one is which without having to really like open each one individually. Just wanted to mention that in case it was interesting to you. And I just realized I forgot to do my brows. I'm going to do my brows and I'll be back to do the blush. I am back. For the blush today, I'm also going to pull out McGrath, and I'm going to take the shade Electric Bloom, which is this beautiful, very, very intense, sort of like coral watermelon shade. It is very, very punchy, so I always have to use the lightest hand, and even when I use the lightest hand, I still need to wipe a little bit of the excess on a microfiber cloth, because otherwise I would end up looking like bozo real quick. But if you can find it in you to apply this shade with a light hand, even if you have a lighter skin tone, I promise you this blush is just going to do magical things for your complexion. You're going to look so alive and so cheerful. I love what this blush does for me personally. I'm going to stick to McGrath for my highlighter, and I'm going to use the Divine Rose highlighter, which is this gorgeous peachy pink shade, which pairs, I feel like, really, really nicely with Electric Bloom. I am so sorry if it seems like I'm Speedy Gonzalezing through this video, but I don't want to be late for my meeting, so I would like to be able to leave on time. Alright, getting into the look, I'm going to use all the eyeshadows in this quint because they make a really beautiful and cohesive look together, and it is actually a look that I've already done because I did use this quint last week right after it arrived when we were on our way to Germany, but I would like to wear it again today with the NYX Glittered Glue instead of the Intensify stick, so that it doesn't crease on me 6 hours later. This is a really beautiful color story. Again, it seems to come across more pink, I feel like, on the promo photos, or maybe in the meantime the promo photos have evolved and you can actually see the true color story of this. But honestly, to me, this is much more, again, residing in the neutral pinks to terracotta tones family, and I really, really like this quint actually. So the first shade that I'm going to apply is this neutralish pink over here, which has like a hint of warmth to it. It is a really, really beautiful shade. These are the kind of pinks from Pat that I can do. I can be on board with shades like this because they do not look unflattering, they do not clash with my skin tone, and look what a beautiful shade this is. Like I said, a neutral pink with just a hint of warmth to it. I really, really like Sunset Romance. Now that I've tried all the quints, I'm sort of hesitating if I were to rank them what would come at the second position, because without a doubt my absolute favorite is Bronze Ecstasy. Bronze Ecstasy has my heart, there is no question. However, for the second position now I'm doubting a little bit between Lunar Nightshade and Sunset Romance, because I did actually quite like the look that I did with Lunar Nightshade. However, there is a shade in there that I'm not sure will work for me, that purpley shade, so I withhold final, you know, ranking before I have tried all the shades. But if I had to rank these so far, I would say Bronze Ecstasy and Sunset Romance. Like, if neutral tones are really what you would like from this holiday collection, Bronze Ecstasy and Sunset Romance got you covered on warm and cool tones. Warm, neutral and cool tones. If you wanted some more interesting colors, then go for Lunar Nightshade and Bordeaux Bliss. I think there are, you know, more adventurous eyeshadow colors in there. But if you want your basics covered, then go for one of these two or both of them if you want to have all of your, you know, desires, hopes and dreams covered for. This shade is just beautiful. Next I'm going to take a somewhat smaller brush. This is the Crease Pro from Sonia G, and I'm going to go into this shade here, which is the absolute most beautiful and perfect terracotta. I don't know that we've had a shade like this from Pat before. Honestly, the mattes in Bronze Ecstasy and Sunset Romance are one of the biggest reasons that I think these two queens are so good. Look at this, it is beautiful and it is essentially blending itself out. Just the quality of these mattes is incredible. Next I'm going to take my NYX Glitter Glue, which is going to serve as a base for the metallic glittery shades. And I should not forget, Claudia asked me to compare one of the metallic shades in here to the metallic taupe shade in Voyeuristic Vixen. So I'm going to do that ASAP so that I don't forget it. But let's first apply the two shades that are going on my lids. And of course those are going to be this flaky terracotta pinky peachy shade and this beautiful, hard to describe pink. This is like some sort of a shade of pink, but it is just really difficult to describe. The glittery shade is obviously on the more flaky side, and I've said this before and I will repeat it again. With shades like this it's better to go in increments, apply small amounts and use swiping motions and a flat shader brush to apply them, because that really diminishes the risk that you're going to introduce a lot of texture on your lids, and it also really reveals the sparkle of these eyeshadows. Okay, now that I'm putting this quint on my eyes again, I do think this is still my top two favorite after Bronze Ecstasy. It is just so pretty. This shade is also really, really beautiful. I've cleaned off my brush on my microfiber cloth and I'm going to apply the neutral pink shade, which as you can see is a little bit less flaky and has more of like a smooth metallic shade texture. And this is also just so beautiful. Look at this, and they fit so well together. This is such a cohesive color story. I don't know that you can do more variable looks with this. I think Bronze Ecstasy offers a little bit more variety in the looks that you can go for. This one is a little bit more monochromatic. And Claudia, this is for you. I don't think they're going to be the same. I think they have very different undertones. But let me swatch the shade from Voyeuristic Vixen. So this one here against this shade here from Sunset Romance. So here is the shade from Sunset Romance. It's like a pink with terracotta tones to it. Is that something that I can say that makes any sort of sense to you? And this is the taupe shade from Voyeuristic Vixen. I think this one just leans more brown. This one has these like slightly terracotta tones to it. They're both really, really pretty. They are slightly different though, but also not super, super different. I'm going to take my fluffy blender and just give everything a nice little blendy blend so that there are no harsh lines. I'm going to finish off the look by applying a little bit of this pinkish shade on my lower lash line and a little bit of the terracotta towards just the outer corner of the eye, basically mimicking what I did on my upper lashes. Oh yeah, and I just realized we forgot to put the inner corner highlight. We are going to do that in just 1 second. Applying the pink, and then an absolute tiniest bit of the terracotta here towards the outer corner of the eye. And now for the final touch, I'm going to take the gold champagne to put in my inner corner. Is this a super basic shade? Yes, it is. But does it fit the tones of this quint absolutely perfectly? I keep calling these things quads instead of quints. I'm so sorry. Quad is just so ingrained in my vocabulary that sometimes I don't catch myself calling these palettes quads. So you will forgive me. Let's do sparkle moment to satisfy those visual senses. This is just so pretty. Lipstick is Spirited Away by Lisa Eldridge. This is one of her luxuriously loosens, and I dare you to tell me that it is not the perfect finishing touch to this terracotta look. Now, final thoughts on Sunset Romance, just in case you missed it. I adore this palette. These are very much... You have to remember though, I have a very soft spot for terracotta tones in makeup. Lipstick, blush, eyeshadow, you name it, I love it if it has terracotta tones to it. So I'm a little bit biased towards this color story. However, I also think that just objectively speaking, it is such a beautiful, cohesive color story. The only thing you have to ask yourself is, can I achieve a similar look with other eyeshadow palettes from Pat McGrath that I have, and are these tones that are going to suit me? Because I think other than that, this is a beautiful curation of colors in absolutely stellar formulas, and I also very highly recommend it. If I would have to pick 2 quints from this whole collection that I wholeheartedly recommend, especially for like the neutral lovers out there, it would be Bronze Ecstasy and Sunset Romance, and then depending on your personal preference in undertones, go for one or the other or both. And with that, I'm going to close off the demo of the quints. I'm very curious what you thought about this look, and also just based on the 4 looks that I did, which one was your favorite? Which quint did you think suited me the most? I'm always so curious about your take, because you always seem to have somewhat different insight than, you know, what I think when I see a certain look on myself. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, and I cannot wait to finally put my grubby fingers into the Starstruck Splendor Mega Mothership. So tomorrow and Saturday I'm going to film 2 looks with that, and hopefully Saturday evening you're going to see the final video for this week of Bijoux Brilliance. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!